Okay, you guys, so for this project, you can have uppercase letters or lowercase letters or a mixture of both, but no matter what, your letters need to be touching the sides, the top, and the bottom of the paper. I'm going to show you with an example of my last name. You guys are doing your first name, okay? So my last name is Snyder, S-N-Y-D-E-R, okay? So with the S, I know a lot of you are going to freak out because you don't know how to do block letters or bubble letters with curved letters, but it's going to be okay. Just start by drawing lightly with your pencil. I'm going to have my S sort of tilted on its side because I think that would be fun. It is touching the top, the sides, and the bottom of my paper. Now, I did go kind of big with the S. I'm gonna go ahead and do the last letter of my name. So here's the R, and I think I'm gonna do an uppercase R. And it doesn't have to look totally perfect, but it just needs to be legible, so that means I can read it. Okay, I have my first letter and my last letter. Now I need to find a way to squeeze in all my other letters. I'm very lucky that I can divide my name in half so easily like this. If you have a name that is just a little bit longer than this, like let's say Adeline, the L is right in the middle. So you know that whatever is the middle of your name goes in the middle of your paper. I can just split mine in half. So I'm gonna draw a little invisible line right down the middle of my paper, very lightly. So now I know the NY and the DE need to fit on both sides of these. So they might get a little squished. That's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll show you that you can be very creative with how you do your letters. So I did my Y like this. Maybe I want to do my Y like this. Okay, so I will draw my Y, goes all the way down to the bottom of my paper, and then now I can fit my N right here. Now, if you went to your classroom teacher and started to write your letters like this, I think I would get in a lot of trouble for telling you to do it. But as long as it fits, I don't care. You can turn them on their side. You can just be very creative with how you stretch or squash your letters, as long as you have lines that are touching the top and the bottom, and if it's on the side, it needs to touch the side. So now I have the D and the E left. So let's do, I'm gonna redo that. Here's my D. And then let's do a lowercase e. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mix what these letters are going to be. Okay. Some of you guys are gonna have really short names that don't have a lot of letters, like Snyder, or you will have way more letters, which is okay. But if you have a very, very short name, like let's say 3 letters, like the name Ava, we are going to really, really stretch those out. And by that, I don't mean like we're just gonna go up and down and write the letters, which, you know, it would be fine. But I'm going to do like, if my name were Ava, really, really stretch. You can even curve some of your lines. So here's the V. Here's the A. And if I wanted to do a lowercase, I could. So let's really stretch out that lowercase a. And then there's the tail. So even if you have a very short name, you can still do this project, so don't worry. So now I have all of my letters on, and you guys might be scared of the whole bubble letters thing, but once they're written like this, and since we're going to be working with markers, it's going to be very easy. So go ahead, you can do this with a pencil or a Sharpie, but you're going to make all of your lines a lot thicker. So if I need to go on both sides of the line that I already drew, I can do that. If I just need to extend one side like this, I can do that. Make sure your letters touch one another. That way all the white spaces left in between, we can start fitting our patterns. So here's my Y. Goes up like this. Just see that I'm making my letters thicker. And if one just sort of slightly goes in front of the other, that's okay too. As long as they touch. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to fill in all of my bubble letters with my Sharpie, and then we will get to the fun patterns. Okay, after you're done filling in all of the black and then erasing all of your extra pencil lines, you're going to grab your pencil again, and in each of these spaces you're going to have a different color and a different pattern. So let's start with the patterns. So let's say right here I'm going to start with these little stars. Remember, a pattern is something that repeats, so you could do a shape or a line and just repeat it all the way inside. And then we're going to be going over these with Sharpie too. So there's one space that's totally filled. I also want, let's do a line that repeats. I'm going to do this sort of curvy line. Okay, so there's another pattern. You're going to do this everywhere, and then you're going to take a Sharpie and then trace. If you feel like you have a lot of tiny details, you can use the fine line Sharpies, but I do want to say I don't want you to get too small or too caught up in these, because it's going to take more time, because not only do you have to draw all these tiny little details, but you have to trace them as well. So if I did way more stars, or if my stars were way smaller, that's going to take me a lot of time. So fill up the space, but don't go overboard, I guess is what I'm saying. So go ahead, fill this entirely with pencil, and then completely trace it. Also, I don't feel like I need to make this clear at your age level, but I am going to say, if you're going to do a pattern, so a line or a shape that repeats, don't go like this, okay? Take your time, be intentional, okay? Same with the shapes. If your circles look like this, or if your diamonds look like this, I want you to erase them and try again. You guys are old enough that you can take your time and really make everything look nice, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and fill this in. It's gonna be fast because I'm gonna speed up the video, but I want you guys to really take your time. But like I said, don't go overboard. Don't make everything too small, and don't make it too cramped, because otherwise it's gonna take a lot of time. But Be smart, work hard. I know you can do it. Okay, so I know you've already spent a lot of time on this project. Guess what? We're not done. You have to color, okay? I understand that coloring something like this is overwhelming. So if you have something like stripes, I'm not gonna make you color every single stripe different colors or boxes like this because I think that's going to take forever. For this project, we're going to be coloring with colored pencils. And I really don't want you to just fill it in like this. Obviously, you guys are old enough, we're not doing that. So we're going to fill in the entire space very neatly like big kids, okay? And as you can see, like I can't really fill in these stars because they're not enclosed shapes, so I'm just drawing around them. But if I have something like these circles, I don't know, I think I really want to see you guys color them in separately, unless you have a ton all next to each other, like these boxes. I don't want you to color them all different colors, okay? So use your best judgment. Don't go through this very fast. I do want, if you have some enclosed shapes, I do want some of them to be filled in with different colors than the background because I think it would look really, really nice. So go ahead, fill in everything very neatly. Have all of these spaces be different colors, so I don't want to use this same color right here and right here, okay? So if I just colored with this colored pencil, I'm gonna go in with like a blue right next door, okay? So go ahead, get started, have fun. We're almost done with this project. Okay, here's my finished name project. Just like last time, my letters are touching the bottom and the top and the sides if they need to. If we need to turn a letter, we can. You can alternate between capital letters and lowercase letters, and here are all of my colors. I don't have a bunch of blues all right next to each other, but instead they're spread out. My patterns have different colors inside each of them. I also had a lot of fun experimenting with layering colors on top of each other. So as you might be able to tell right here, I put pink over the teal as well as right here. And I put yellow over my orange and pink over my yellow just to get some fun textures and colors in there, and you can experiment as you'd like. Everything is completely colored. I don't have any white spaces, and I colored to the best of my ability. So I would like to see you color to the best of your ability as well. And yeah, I will leave this here as an example for you guys, but I know that you're going to do great, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. Bye.